Welcome to a very special episode of The Chef's Plate. I'm Helen Ryba, and this is the Farm Fresh Granite Chef Challenge. The farm-to-table movement has been growing in New England, and many New Hampshire chefs are participating, which means fresher food, tastier meals, and a boost to the local economy. Here's the lowdown. We're going to take this great basket, we're going to fill it with farm-fresh ingredients from 3 farms and a distillery. Then we're going to visit 3 award-winning New Hampshire chefs who all have a passion for using locally sourced ingredients. They each are going to have to cook something from everything in this basket. It's going to be a blast. Let's go. We're here at the Kimball Fruit Farm in Pepperell, Massachusetts, a 3rd-generation family-run farm owned and operated by Carl and Marie Hills.
I'm Carl Hills. I'm the owner of Kimball Fruit Farm. We're in Pepperell, Mass, Hollis, New Hampshire, right on the state line. We're a farm of 176 acres. We grow on 140 acres, a mix of fruits and vegetables. We do 12 farmers markets, and we have a farm stand, and that's primarily how we sell our products. This was an apple orchard. Like many apple orchards in New England, we kind of succumbed to the international production of apples, and it kind of interrupted the good sales that the apple farmers had in this area. So instead of selling the farm, we decided to cut half the apple orchard down, and we've now diversified into many different products. We have a very diverse fruit selection, 40 kinds of apples, 5 kinds of plums. We're standing in a plum orchard now. We have 6 kinds of pears. We have peaches, nectarines, white peaches, white nectarines. We grow a variety of corn, heirloom tomatoes, 70 varieties of those. We grow all kinds of lettuces, salad mix, berries of all kinds, raspberry, blueberry, blackberry, melons, cucumbers, squash, half an acre of garlic. Whatever we can sell retail and whatever Bon Appetit says it's time to sell, we grow and we sell it. I think local is better, number one, because it's fresher. A lot of the varieties of vegetables we grow aren't made to ship. They're made for flavor. It also, buying local is good for the community. I buy things to make my farm run. I buy things from the local hardware store. I try to avoid Home Depot wherever I can. I buy from the local gas station, the local repairman. And I hire 35 people in season. About 50 restaurants now come to us, some sporadically, some more every week. And it's become a very big part of our business. And it's important for the restaurant too, because they can actually sell a local product faster than they can sell something that doesn't say local on it. I like the word sustainability. I think it's an important one because this is a farm it's made to be, it's under a program called the Agricultural Preservation Restriction Program, and I'm actually the steward of the land in this generation. This is going to be a farm for forever, food producing. So it's important for me to farm it right, not wear out my welcome on this piece of land, and sustain the ability for it to grow. I think one of the nicest things is waking up at 4 in the morning, having coffee, looking out my window, watching the sunrise over my orchard, taking my first drive around the orchard to see in the fields to see what needs to be done. And then the next favorite thing is to watch the sun go down, feeling very tired, but feeling very fulfilled that I had a full day of work. Well, a typical day on the farm is we work 7 days a week. So it's very similar every day. We get up, we come, we have to pick, we have to get our market trucks off, and then we go out in the fields and we start weeding, planting, hoeing, and getting ready for the next day. It's just constant work. We have a farm stand on the farm. We do have pick-your-own apples, pumpkins, berries. We also have 12 farmers markets in the Boston area, and about 50 restaurants come and buy things, so you can eat the products at those restaurants. And our website at kimballfruitfarm.com will tell you all that. The favorite part about being a farmer, I think it's an honorable profession. There's nothing bad about it. We don't leave a bad carbon footprint behind us. I think it's good for the community. It's a good way to raise my family. All that makes it, and plus the vitamin D I get every day.
I'm Luke Mahoney, and we're out in the middle of a pasture here on Brookford Farm in Canterbury, New Hampshire. Both my wife and I are first-generation farmers. We were over in Russia when we met, actually, and we were just traveling and experiencing different farms around the world, and then got to loving it. So we have 30 acres of vegetables, you know, anything that's 40 varieties, so anything that's from spring right on through till the fall. We have a very strong focus on fall crops into the winter. We store potatoes, carrots, beets, onions, garlic, cabbage, winter squash. We store a lot of vegetables. Meats, chickens, beef and pork, eggs. My son just started a little duck egg business. And then, of course, the dairy, which is 12 different dairy products with, you know, yogurt, cheeses, buttermilk, quark, stuff like that. Again, I like to be outside. I like to be working with the rhythms of nature. So I like to have my work as seasonal. I don't stop working in the winter, but it changes to more office work, reflective work. And in the summer, I'm out. It's almost like surfing a wave of the season. It's very exciting for me. There couldn't be a healthier environment than raising my kids on the farm. You know, they also are experiencing the seasons. It's very important for human beings to experience the seasons. We're often way too detached from the seasons and the rhythms. So I think it's great for my kids to have that experience from a young age. We're not forcing them or even encouraging them to be farmers. They can if they want, but to have that as a foundation is really important for me. The other thing I like about being a farmer is that you're challenged. Like, you need to work with, you're a meteorologist, as well as a biologist, as well as a physicist, as well as, you know, an engineer, and you're a marketer, and you're every profession almost that exists, and you have to kind of be that on a day-to-day basis and move from one. So that's very exciting for me. Generally, we're not professional at any of that, but generally speaking, that's really fun. I think for the economy, a farm to table is a very important thing. You know, I wish more restaurants were doing it, because we could use more accounts, and I think it's great for the customer to experience that. Like, I went with my folks to a restaurant last night, and they weren't serving any local food, and the portions were enormous, but it really didn't taste that well. I'd rather have a smaller portion of really local tasting, good tasting food than an enormous portion that I can't even finish of, you know, poor quality, God knows where it came from food. We have one earth, and we have to work with it. It's got to produce food for us for generations to come. And this farm in particular was a sod farm for 40 years. And the land was in really rough shape when we came here. And if we hadn't come here and tried to turn it around, it could have just turned into wasteland. So I think sustainable practices can make farming land be able to be farmed for generations to come. So that's really important to me and my family and everyone who comes to work here.
Next up on the chef's plate, we'll learn the science of how to make gin, and we'll meet some new furry friends. With a history that dates back to 1854, the Peterborough Basket Company is the oldest basket manufacturing company still crafting baskets right here in the United States. All of our baskets are made on site at our factory in Peterborough, New Hampshire. It's a craft found nowhere else in New England. Peterborough baskets are hand woven from durable Appalachian white ash, which is harvested from Maine, Vermont, and New Hampshire. Our baskets are made to last and come with a limited lifetime warranty. We have hundreds of styles of handcrafted baskets that range from baskets for storage, picnics, pie holders, to a whole line of bicycle baskets. More than a business, Peterborough Basket is a Yankee tradition. Although it has become an industry leader, this family-owned and operated company has never forgotten the quiet, careful attention to detail of that first basket that was woven over 150 years ago. Come visit our factory outlet store in Peterborough, New Hampshire at 130 Grove Street, or visit us online at peterboroughbasket.com.
You know, the food we eat has changed so much. Today, the average meal travels 1,500 miles before it even reaches your plate. We no longer know that farmer and know the food that they grow. We forgot how real food is even supposed to taste. We forgot the experience of picking fresh food and taking the very first succulent bite. Somewhere along the way, we lost our connection with food and farmer. Tonight is about bringing people back to the farm. Bringing them back to a sustainable food system where local food is the norm and not the exception. Tonight is about local restaurants being a part of a sustainable food system, purchasing food from farms and not from factories. Tonight is about building a community that embraces the farmer rather than ostracizing them to a relic of the past.
We're here in Nashua, New Hampshire at Gin Spirits, and we're going to go inside and meet the owner, Andy, and see what's happening. Let's go.
Hi, I'm Andy Harthcock, and welcome to Gin Spirits. I have been either an engineer or an engineering manager for my whole life, and I've been looking for some type of business that I could use as a retirement type thing, something totally different from engineering. And my wife happened to make a stray comment about distilling being fun, and so I took that and ran with it and did research. The internet is a wonderful place for getting information, and talked to a lot of distillers, and that's a fun thing to do too, is take a pilgrimage to as many distilleries as you can. And so did some trial runs, and then finally decided I knew enough to take the step, and went through the process of getting a federal license, state license, and all of the local licenses that are required for starting any kind of business like this. And we opened our doors last December, that's 2013. Okay, we like to think our spirits are different because we first put a lot of research into what does it take to do a really good example of each style of liquor that we come out with. First, the white whiskey. That's essentially a moonshine type product. And I just never agreed with the concept of going directly to market with something that tasted totally like a moonshine, which, truth be told, is not a very pleasant flavor. So we do a charcoal filtration process on our white whiskey, and then even though white whiskey by its definition is an unaged type whiskey, we still age it for a week on small barrels just to give it a little bit more flavor. It actually has a little bit more color than you would expect in a white whiskey. And so I think that makes for a very top-end whiskey type product for that. For the gin, it was the same process, although obviously that's a different product. We did some research, tried some different gins, and when I say we, I'm talking about my wife and I tried different gins and talked about what we liked, didn't like. Again, you can do a lot of research on the internet, found recipes for the major gins that are out there, and then came up with what we felt was a mix of botanicals that would make for an interesting style of gin. So we ran that through the still, which incorporates yet another difference, which is a vapor infusion type process. In that, from an engineering aspect, that basically captures the flavor while it's still in vapor form immediately before it is condensed into a liquid. And so I believe it's a superior way of capturing very delicate flavors and aromas that you just don't get when you do a more traditional liquid infusion, which is more like using a tea bag with the botanicals. Well, the gin is available in the top 14 stores in the state of New Hampshire right now. So typically if you think of any of the larger stores in your area, then the chances are good that that'll have my gin right now. This being early August, that's where the gin is. Now the reserve whiskey, we just came out with about 2 weeks ago. We finalized the paperwork with the state on getting that out. That's going to be on a little bit more selective basis. It'll be available in the top 10 stores in the state, but that will be available toward the end of August there. The white whiskey, we're not releasing that to the state system. That is available here. We do have some age your own whiskey kits that it's perfect. It actually is a good standalone drink by itself, but it's also very good if you're interested in a do-it-yourself aged whiskey, and then that's the thing to use. Oh, I'm having a blast. It's certainly a trial by fire type of experience in starting any new business, but the ability to make the gin that we always wanted to have is an amazing thing. The ability to do the research and make my very own whiskey is just a very, very rewarding process. We are open for tours on the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. And then we also offer bookings for larger groups. If someone wants to have a party or something like that, then be happy to talk to them and we'll schedule something. The best part. I have to say, there's one moment, and it's always at the very tail end of a long day, and it may be several days, and usually it's well into the evening, and usually it's my wife and I, and we're both half soaked in gin or whiskey or whatever we've been working at during the day, and we're not at our best, but there comes a point when you're done and you can pour just a little bit for yourself of the finished product, and we stop, and generally we have a toast, and it's a wonderful moment.
We are here at Rickety Ranch in Hollis, New Hampshire. You're going to see the cutest little baby pig, little baby rabbits, some ducks, some goats, a couple of donkeys, some beautiful horses. It's run by Diane and Gary and a barn full of kids. You're going to come here as a stranger, you're going to leave as a friend, so leave your troubles at the gate and let's go see that baby pig.
Hi, I'm Diana Dwyer Bergeron, and we're at the Rickety Ranch in Hollis, New Hampshire. Well, it started just as an idea when we first moved here. I'm used to Texas roots and New Mexican cowboy roots. I grew up on a ranch. Every summer of my life was spent there. And I came here and it was just cost prohibitive in every way to ride a horse, something that simple. So we got 2 horses, and then my son, my youngest son, expressed an interest in just raising chickens and starting an egg business, a local egg business, and selling to the larger farms here. He went off to college, I took over, we started adding different animals. The town selectman, when he moved, said, would you like some cows, and some goats and some sheep, so we took them in, they needed a home. Next thing I know, a few neighborhood kids showed up, and this was born from that. We now have 20 children that work here. It's a barn for kids and by kids. And what resonated for me as a child is now resonating for these children. We're called the Rickety Ranch, not just because we have rickety fences, as you can see around the property. We're called the Rickety Ranch because the animals, even some of the children here, myself, we all have some rickety in us, whether it's being bullied or autism or ADHD or a divorce that they're going through. We all have rickety, and here we embrace that. We are also a working farm. We have multiple faces on this farm. We have the rescue program, we have the Work to Ride program for the 20 children, where we teach them about ranching and where their food comes from. There's a huge disconnect in all generations, but we're kind of trying to educate the future farmers. That's how we look at it, of America. We're trying to educate the future veterinarians. Generally, the common denominator here, besides having rickety in us, which we all have, as I stated, is our love for animals. So what we offer as far as products to restaurant are ducks, pheasant, chicken, turkey, grass-fed beef, goat meat on occasion, and pork products. Our bacon and our eggs are phenomenal. We have almost a cult following there. And we're just starting to get into the restaurant and the butchery shops. The farm-to-table movement is important to us because mostly because of educating the end user. There's a huge disconnect, I find, in the populace of where their food comes from. It doesn't come from a cellophane wrapper. It doesn't come from eggs that have been allowed to be re-stamped multiple weeks in a row, and their natural protective layer is washed off that the hen lays, and they have to put a wax coating on it, and you're getting this pale egg. For us, it's important that the end user put health in their body. We've become a fast food nation, and I don't just mean our food, our lifestyle. And we've lost our farming roots. We've lost the connect of how food is grown and properly grown and healthfully grown. And we're all into mass producing, and a small local farmer who does do it right, it's almost cost prohibitive to even survive in this environment. What makes our products so special here, I believe, as silly as it sounds, is the humane treatment of every animal that comes here, from birth till the end. We even go so far as to pay special butchering costs to a butcher that we feel is humane. They will not treat them like chattel. That when the cows, for instance, are brought in, just traveling is stressful for them. They'll play music. They'll give them a really good, healthy Last Supper. Combined with the fact that we feed them what they would naturally get out on the range. It's very important. We do our own haying. We have our hay tested by specialists that come in from the grain companies that will offer free testing of your hay. We don't add byproducts like corn and that sort of thing. It takes longer to get them to table that way, but it's a healthier cow, it's a happier cow. And that's true of all our animals. I think the best part of the Rickety Ranch, it's a combination of the animals and especially, I mean, we do have the farm animals, and I love all the animals, we all do, but the rescue animals, seeing them come in as not trusting of humans, having situations, and the children. Again, some have rickety in them, most of them do of some sort. I have rickety in me. And just watching them come together and collude in such a way that all are better for it. Together, they are the heart of this farm. Yes, we sell product, and we sell amazing product, and we take that very seriously. But the heart of the farm truly is this smaller parcel that we're sitting on, not the extended land and extended farm animals that we sell. For us, it isn't necessarily, the money is of selling the product and getting it to market is to educate the consumer and to get some funding to keep the program that we have for these animals and these girls alive. That's the heart. That's the part that means something to us.
That's it for this week's episode of The Chef's Plate. Please join us next week when we take our basket with secret ingredients to our 3 chefs and turn up the heat to see who will become the next Farm Fresh Granite Chef Challenge winner. We'd like to thank the following sponsors for supporting us and local farmers: Red River Theaters, The Farmer's Dinner, Good Eats New Hampshire, Cotton, Burt's Better Beer, Surf Sushi Bar, Empty's Local Kitchen and Wine Bar, Wellington's Marketplace, Bantam Grill, Pearl Restaurant and Oyster Bar, Out There Productions, Peterborough Basket Company, Dancing Lion Chocolate, Courtyard by Marriott Grapponi Conference Center, Hagen's Grill, and the New Hampshire Farm to Restaurant Connection. Thank you.